Hello guys, and welcome to another in-depth review here on NNT Auto Reviews. My name is Tyler, as always right behind the camera, giving you these awesome in-depth review videos on all of these really cool cars. This car is no exception to that cool factor, and it is of course the 2018 Fiat 500L in the trekking trim level. Now 2018 sees a really nice refresh for the 500L, and it's just a really nice car, and a lot nicer than I was expecting. So make sure you stay tuned. We're going to give you a bunch of shots of the car. You're going to see all the angles, all the buttons, all that good stuff coming up soon. Alrighty, so before we get into all the details of this car, I just wanted to show you the window sticker quickly, just to show you how Fiat lays out their window stickers. So over here we're going to have all of our basic equipment, so what comes standard on this trim level. We're also going to have more standard equipment up to here where you see the optional equipment. I'm going to go through that. It has the Urbana appearance package, which gives it some really nice blacked out features. Looks really cool on this car. We also have the convenience group, which gives us the dual zone climate control, lumbar support for both the driver and passenger, which is always nice. And then we also have the dual pane sunroof, which comes at an extra just under $1,400. I definitely suggest that. It definitely airs up the interior really, really nicely. And our destination charge of just under $1,000 is on there as well, which gives us a total sticker price of just $26,905. Now if we take a look over here, we have all of our fuel economy ratings and all that good stuff. And we also see our parts content over there as well. But overall, just a really, really nice car, and I definitely suggest giving this car a chance. It's just such a nice car for the money. Alright, so backing up as much as I can to give you guys a nice side profile view of the 500L. Let's go over the color choices. So in the trekking trim level, there's 9 available color choices. The one we're working with today is called Arencia Pastello, which is a pastel orange. And your wheelbase comes in at 102.8 inches. And working our way around back, our only drivetrain configuration is front-wheel drive. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out some of the exterior features that the updated 500L has to offer. Now we can start up front with the headlamps. It's got a nice white ring that gives the appearance of an a daytime running light. But we have a nice projector bulb that is used for both your high and low beams. And I believe it is powered by a halogen bulb. You also have some pretty neat details. Check out the 500 logo in that headlamp on the side. And some pretty neat shapes up top too. And if we take a look down bottom, we have a turn signal, as well as one of your parking lights, which is pretty neat. And our final light on the front bumper is the fog lights, which look pretty nice integrated. Now take a look at the silver metallic surrounds down the bottom. That gives it a pretty neat appearance, and that is specific to the trekking model, which is supposed to be the, I don't want to say off-road version, but the more country living, I guess you could say, version to the Fiat 500L lineup. We have some nice grille inserts there in the center with the rectangular design, and then our typical Fiat mustache up front with the logo as well. But a nice update for the trekking trim level, and pretty much all the trim levels on the Fiat 500L for 2018. So taking a look over here, we have a nice short hood. It's very light, easy to lift up. We have some little creases going around the lights up there. And you can see we have our washer jets and all that good stuff. What if we take a look down here? We have some nice blacked out rims thanks to the Urbana blackout package. And they are 17-inch rims. tires measure to 25/45 up front, and we have ventilated disc rotors, and it looks like we have all-season tires as well. And that's nice to see that they cover up the lug nuts with that little cap there. That looks pretty nice too. You can also see that they include the black molding that goes all the way around the wheel wells and down the bottom of the car on the side there, and that really helps out with keeping the paint clean and also keeping it clean of road chips, which is always a pain in the butt if you like a clean car. We have some nice moldings down here that protect your door also from dings and whatnot in the parking lot. Have a nice blacked out mirror, and take a look at that. The whole roof is actually blacked out, which gives it a really nice appearance. All of the window frames are blacked out. It almost gives it a floating roof sort of appearance. Looks really good. We have these nice silver metallic door handles. Again, the gloss black pillars. We have our window sticker that you saw earlier. And taking a look around back, we have disc brakes back here too. They are solid. You can see we have an antenna up there, and then you can almost make out that panoramic sunroof. Awesome option that this car is fitted with, and you'll get to see it on the interior in just a few minutes. Now back here we have some really neat styled tail lamps. Take a look at that, pretty cool looking when they're illuminated. Down here we have the reflectors. You can also see those circles on the bumper. Those are parking sensors that go all the way across. And down here we have our reverse lights all the way down there. Some nice sport trim back here too with the silver accents, just like up front. We have our third wiper and third brake light. Nice big Fiat emblem, the 500L emblem, and take a look at that. They integrated the backup camera right into one of the zeros with the 500L logo. Pretty neat there. And taking a look above the license plate frame, you have a little rubber pad to pop the trunk there. You also have the hidden exhaust on the driver's side. So pretty neat looking interior, and a very nice interior to go along with it. Just stay tuned in a few more minutes and we'll see all about the interior. Alright, so taking a look underneath the hood of the 500L, the only engine choice available is actually the engine out of the Fiat 500 Abarth, which is a 1.4 liter turbocharged inline 4, and it produces 160 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 184 pound-feet of torque at 2,500 RPM. Pretty much an easy access engine. It looks like the exhaust goes out the front and the turbo is actually right here. We have our engine oil, which is 5W40. Except we have our airbags over here. Some fluids that we could check. A nice little battery that's insulated. A brake fluid, windshield washer fluid. And the intake side of the engine is at the back. Alrighty, so opening the door and checking out our interior. First, we're going to go ahead and go over some color options. So on the trekking trim level, you get a choice between either gray or black leather. This is the black leather. And the leather is a really nice quality too. You also do have a 7-speaker Beats audio system, which is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and start here on the door panel since it's right here. We have pretty hard to touch plastics over here, but if we make our way down the center of the door where your arm's going to rest, it's all nice and soft. So where it counts, it's going to be nice and soft. Then we go back down to the harder plastics down here. We have a bottle holder in there and a pretty good amount of storage. We have 2 speakers on the door, which is nice. Nice metallic door handles. We also have our auto down windows right here, and then our window lockout for the children. We also have our mirror adjustments right on the A-pillar right there. Door has a pretty neat shape. Looks like almost like a 45-degree angle right in there. And you also have this quarter window up front, which not a lot of cars have, and it greatly increases your visibility inside. So taking a look down here, we have our hood release, our pedals are down there, and then we also have carpet floor mats that will button in with those buttons right there. We also have a little air vent over there. We could also see the release there for the tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Just lock that right back into place. We also have a couple of buttons here. So this one is for your heated seat. It's one stage, and then we also have our power lumbar support, so 2-way. The rest of this seat is controlled manually, so you have a height adjustment right here. Then you could also control your backrest with this lever right here. So backrest right here and height is right here. Then we also have our back and forth motion with this bar right underneath. But take a look at these seats. For only $27,000, these are some really nice quality seats. You have stitching, perforations in the center. Just a really nice seat setup for this car. Let's go ahead and get on in. I'll show you the key, we'll start it up, and we'll check out the rest of the interior. Alrighty, so here's the key that you get with the 500L. You have the Fiat logo at the top, which also doubles as a button, which releases your key that you need to use to start it up. You also have the unlock lock and a trunk popper. Pretty standard stuff, but a nice slim key that'll slip right into your pocket. Nice. So let's go ahead and start it up by just sticking the key in the dash and turning it. Alright, so you can go ahead and start off this interior with this really nice leather wrap steering wheel. I really like the design of it, the airbag cover, and the use of the nice metallic accents too. And there's a lot of useful features on the steering wheel too without it being overly cluttered. So as far as materials here, we have this nice leather wrap material. It's got a little bit of a texture to it, all around the wheel actually. It's got some stitching even on the outside and some more on the inside. Really nice use of materials. Now over here we have a bunch of controls to control our digital display up there, which we'll get into in just a few minutes. We also have our Bluetooth control, so pick up, hang up, and our voice recognition system. Nice use of metallic work going around our airbag with the nice Fiat logo. We also have our standard cruise control settings over here. Now behind the steering wheel, you can't see them, but it's almost like paddle shifters. Right over here, you're going to have a few buttons to change your radio stations. on this side. And then on the back of the steering wheel on this side, you're also going to have your audio volume, so that's pretty neat that they put it on the rear of the steering wheel so that you don't have to stare at billions of buttons on the face of the steering wheel. Alright, so behind the wheel you have all of your lighting controls, so your high beams are here as well, your regular on and off with the headlights, and then your turn signals. Over here you also have your front and rear wiper controls. Now up here you have some pretty nice gauges. I like the font that they use and the bright, it looks like the white LED lights they use there again with contrasting with the black on the back of the gauges. So we have our speedometer over here, a little information display over here with our fuel gauge and temperatures, and we also have our rev counter all the way to the right. But in the center we do have an LCD display which shows up a bunch of really neat menus. Really nice to see that there's no real glare on this screen, at least the way I'm looking at it, there's no glare. But we can again use these 4 buttons and the OK to go through all of the menus that this little system has to offer. So right now we're on the basic screen, which just shows you the total mileage on the car, digital speedometer, exterior temperature, time, and what gear we're in. If we go down, we have all of our different trip menus. Bunch of good stuff that you could show there. We also have some vehicle information, so our tire pressures. I have an audio screen, so it's playing with our audio. Also have a navigation, so your destination will, or your turns and whatnot for the navigation will show up over there if you have something set on your navigation system. We have messages and reminders, and then also just our regular settings. So pretty useful screen there. You can customize what you want to see. Nice to see that. Taking a look up here, we have a pretty nice dashboard. Pretty much all hard to the touch, but take a look at the visibility out the front. Really awesome visibility, and it's just like a huge glass mobile. Take a look at, there's just glass everywhere, which is actually really cool. Really good with the visibility. There's virtually no blind spots in this car at all. So taking a look over here, we have a nice Uconnect screen. Really nice and responsive. I like the features that it has to offer. And the Beats audio system is a really great system. Despite the fact that it only has 7 speakers, it puts out a ton of audio quality there. So really nice system that Fiat uses in this car. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the functions on the screen here. Here we have the regular radio screen. We have our sources over here, and then our presets are located up top. We have our tune and all that good stuff over there. Moving over to media, we have all of our different connections. So USB, we could select a source over there too. Pause it or play it. Also skipping. This car also does have navigation. So if we go back to the map there, it's a really nice map. You could zoom in and out. It'll show you all the little city streets and whatnot. You can see we're right off of 91 here in Hartford, the capital of Connecticut, in case you didn't know. We also have just all of our different screens, or our different menus there. You just turn the screen off if it's distracting you. And we also have our phone screen. All of your contacts and whatnot will sync over once you pair your phone to either the Bluetooth. We have all of our different settings up here, which I'm just going to scroll through them quick. So a lot of customization you can go through when you first set up the car. Then we also have some of our trip settings, which you could also see in the speedometer area over there too. So you have trip A and trip B. But pretty nice screen that Fiat gives you there. Definitely a nice upgrade over the previous system that we had in the 500L. So over here we have a nice little volume knob. Nice to see that's a knob, not some sort of weird swiping mechanism or anything like that. We have a tune knob over here as well. And also another thing I noticed with this screen, it it doesn't look like glass, or it at least could be glass, or it has a covering over it, so it doesn't have glare. But really nice to see that nonetheless. It also helps out with the fingerprints too. So we have our gauge dimmers that are located right over here. Instead of over here near the dash, they're over there. We also have our hazards over there, our fog lights right here, and then our lock-unlock button right there. Now taking a look down here, we have our optional dual zone climate control. So we have our 2 temperatures located on these outside knobs. You can see you can adjust the temperatures different, so my passenger over here can have a different temperature than me. Over here we have our rear defrosters. We also have a front defroster right over here. Our fan speed is located in the middle. Works nice and quick. And then we have all of our where we want the air to blow settings right there, and you can just turn the climate control right off. Right there. We also, of course, have that sync button as well. Now down here we have a couple more buttons, one for your traction control off. We also have a auxiliary USB and then a regular 12-volt power connection down there. We have a nice little tray that looks like it might fit a standard size smartphone. Also down here we have a pretty nice gear selector. It's got some pretty neat details. Nice leather shift boot that's stitched. We also have this pretty neat little button system right there. Nice, easy to disconnect. It actually unbuttons and you could actually see the gear linkages and all that stuff in case you needed to get down there in the future for maintenance. But it is a 6-speed automatic. See, we're in park at the moment, but all you need to do to put it in reverse is just press that little unlock logo at the back there. You could see it'll illuminate or not illuminate when it's ready to shift into gear. We have a backup camera with the guidance lines. Pretty nice quality too. And neutral and drive. And then you also have a manual mode, which is pretty cool. And your gears will show up within your display right up top there. Pretty nice gear selector. It seems like Fiat is all about the small details. So another small detail is that little 500 logo right below the gear selector. We also have 2 little cup holders over here. Have a manual parking brake, which is always nice to see. I always prefer a manual parking brake. I find myself always getting into cars and forgetting that the electronic parking brake is set, because there's really no way to tell unless the light is flashing at you in the dashboard there. But we have a nice little center armrest, nice amount of quality to it. It's pretty soft too, but it's a little bit small. You have a pretty good amount of storage in there nonetheless. It goes in nice and deep. So pretty nice to see that. Nice dashboard. It's got this really neat texturing to the plastic there. Now taking a look up here, we have a nice auto dimming mirror. We could turn the auto dimming on and off with that little logo right there. We also have some illumination up top, some more illumination settings, and I have the nice panoramic moonroof open, which I definitely suggest getting. We have a couple of controls for that. This is for the sunshade. It is one-touch automatic and it'll come right on back for us. It still lets in just a little bit of light, just enough for my liking at least. But it is really nice in the fact that it is one-touch automatic. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for you to see what it's like. And to operate the sunroof, the controls are right next to it. So you can either vent the roof upwards or move it right on back over the rear portion to let in a bunch of air. And we do have a nice sunshade up, or wind shade rather, that deflects all the wind from coming in. But really nice panoramic moonroof. Definitely opt for that option right there if it was me buying this car. So we have some nice visors up here with a little mirror and illumination, which is always nice to see. And those also do extend to cover the light over here if the sun's in your eyes on the side. But I'm going to go ahead and adjust my driving position to myself. I'm around 5'10", and we're going to go ahead and check out how much legroom we have in the back of this car. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and grab the key. We can fold that up, put that into safekeeping, and we could go ahead and check out what the back seat has to offer. Alright, so we can start off the rear portion with the door panel here. Pretty much the same material use as up front. So hard plastic, and then nice soft leather where it counts. We have two more speakers on the door here and a window switch, a little bit of storage. And the rear seats are just as nice as the front, with the same leather materials, the stitching. The soft leather pretty much on the outside, and then the perforations on the inside. And it does have a couple of different movabilities here. So if we pull this, it will fold the seat down. It will also fold it up for extra storage to give you that nice flat loading floor there. And putting it back is pretty easy as well. There's some nice little headrests up there too. The panoramic moonroof continues nicely back here too. Let's go ahead and hop in and see how much room I have sitting behind myself. So we have a good inch of legroom back here, and it doesn't feel cramped whatsoever. I'd be definitely comfortable with two passengers back here. And you have a nice upright seating position. I have about an inch of headroom as well, which isn't too bad. But I have to say, this moonroof really spaces up the interior, so it makes it feel a lot bigger than it is. There's a nice little overview of the dash on the front. But taking a look down here, we have a USB charger, and as you can see, the floor in the center is pretty much flat, so a central passenger would probably be pretty comfortable back here. You also do have a center armrest. Nice little armrest over here with a cup holder that gently glides out. And up here we have a grab handle and some lighting that gently fades on and off, and a little coat hook for you as well. But for the next portion of the video, let's go ahead and check out the front passenger space. So the front passenger door is pretty much like the driver's as far as the design and materials go. See, we have a little bit of storage, a couple of speakers, the nice leather right here, our window switch. The passenger seat moves just like the driver's, so we have the lumbar support, two-way, the heated seat, the up and down motion. We also have the backrest goes back and forth, and then the back and forth for the whole sliding of the seat there. Let's go ahead and hop in and get out of the wind. I do apologize about that wind, it's pretty nasty today. Believe it or not, the sun's out, but there is a storm on the way. Lucky me. So we have the nice 500 logo there. And we also have a secondary glove box in here, which is always nice to see. And then we also have a little space right here to put your phone or whatever as well. And a nice pretty roomy glove box in here too. Take a look at the owner's manual, pretty nice. So as far as storage goes, I'm very surprised. There's plenty of storage in this car, even though it is a little bit on the smaller side of things. But let's go ahead and check out the trunk space next. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop the trunk and see how much storage space we're working with. Let's go ahead and use this button right here. It'll pop it open and you can easily just lift it right on up. We have a nice bumper protector right here, which really does protect the bumper in the long term, especially if you don't have very careful owners. But we also have this little load floor right here, which gives you a nice flat surface if you needed it. You have some lights over here and extra storage. A little net over here. Got a little Beats logo just to let everybody know that you have a Beats audio system. We also do have a cargo shade which you can disconnect. And underneath that load floor, you have even more storage. You can see our carpeted floor mats are there. Looks like the maybe a bass speaker for the Beats audio system. Good stuff. And you can go ahead and shut the trunk down by this handle right here. Okay, so opening the lid to the 13.2 gallon fuel tank. It is a capless fuel filler, and you will be getting around 22 in the city and 30 on the highway as the window sticker suggests. I have a nice little seal there for the capless filler as well. Alright, so to wrap up this video, I hope you guys have enjoyed the Fiat 500L just as much as I have, and I hope you stay with us for future in-depth reviews.